Hey everyone, welcome back to the AWESMR Pop channel. Today we're gonna make Play-Doh mini foods. These are super fun to make, and you can display these miniature treats wherever you like. Well, until the Play-Doh starts to harden and crumble. Okay, let's start by flattening out some brown Play-Doh. We're going to make a mini hamburger first. Here's the bottom bun. Now let's make another one. It's going to be slightly different because we just made the bottom bun. To make the top bun, it has to be a bit more rounded. There we go. Now let's make sure these two buns are aligned. Perfect. Okay, let's put the buns to the side, and now let's use dark brown Play-Doh to make a hamburger patty. Make a round shape, but leave a dent with your thumb in the middle. Just adding some detail there. Oh, and speaking of detail, before we put the patty on the bun, let's use this tool to add some more details to this patty. Make little dots and scratch marks on the side. This will make our Play-Doh patty look more realistic. See? Much better, right? Here's a closer look. Okay, now let's put our patty on the bun. Now let's use green Play-Doh to make lettuce. Make a round shape and just crinkle the edges. Perfect. Let's do a few more. Alright, we have a bunch of mini lettuce pieces. Now let's add the lettuce pieces onto our patty. Alright, now let's roll out some yellow Play-Doh to make our slice of cheese. Now let's use this tool to make a square shape. Perfect. Here's our slice of cheese. Let's put this on top. Alright, now let's use red Play-Doh to make our tomato slices. Flatten these balls of Play-Doh with my thumb. Okay, we have our tomato shapes. Now let's add some details. There we go. Here's one tomato slice. Give me a minute while I finish up the rest. Okay, let's add the other two tomato slices on our burger. We're almost finished. Now let's use white Play-Doh to make our onions. Roll this out. Use this stamp. Now we need to make little rings, so let's use a smaller stamp. Perfect. Okay, now let's just stretch these out a bit. Awesome, here's one onion slice. Now let's add our onions onto our burger. Add the top bun. And here's a closer look at our Play-Doh mini burger. What do you think? Now I'm really craving a burger. Okay, now let's make a mini hot dog. We'll need to use more brown Play-Doh. Roll this out into a hot dog bun. Okay, now let's use this skewer stick to slice our bun. But don't completely slice it in half. There we go. Now let's open this up a bit. Okay, so we're going to be putting our hot dog in there, so let's use this tool to stretch out our Play-Doh a bit. There we go. Our hot dog bun looks perfect. Now let's use green Play-Doh to make relish. Who likes relish in their hot dogs? Cut this in half. Now let me just clean this up a bit. Also need to crinkle it up some more. Now let's put this inside our hot dog bun. Place it on one side. Now let's put the relish on the other side as well. Beautiful! Now let's use red Play-Doh to make our hot dog. Roll this out. Perfect. Make little marks. There we go. Let's put our hot dog in our bun. Nice! This looks pretty good so far. Okay, now let's use white Play-Doh to make more onions. Roll this out. Let's use this stamp again. Now let's use the smaller stamp again. Okay, stretch this out a bit, and then we'll add our onions on our hot dog. Awesome! Now let's use a little bit of yellow Play-Doh to make mustard. Just roll this out. Now make a squiggly design. There we go. Now let's use a little bit of red Play-Doh to make ketchup. Roll this out the same way. Make another squiggly design. Awesome! Here's a closer look at our mini hot dog. This hot dog is packed. Okay, now let's make a mini side. Roll out some red Play-Doh. We're gonna make French fries. We'll use this red Play-Doh to make a container. Give me a minute while I make the shape. Awesome! Now let's use this yellow Play-Doh to make French fries. Roll this out. Now let's put our fries in the container. Just stack them up like this. Now let's fold this red Play-Doh. Secure the French fries by pressing down on the sides. Awesome! Separate the fries a bit. Give me a second. And here's a small order of French fries. Now let's make a drink to go with all these mini foods. Roll out some blue Play-Doh. Also have a little bit of white, pink, and orange Play-Doh rolled up. Let's attach those smaller pieces to the side of our blue Play-Doh. Awesome! Now let's just roll this out. Twist it. Roll it again. Okay, now let's fold this. And now we're gonna make our cup. Roll this out. Make a square shape. Okay, we can leave this alone for now. Now let's roll out some dark brown Play-Doh. Make a cylindrical shape. Okay, now we need to wrap this Play-Doh around our soda. So let's roll this out some more. Okay, now let's put our soda in the center. Remove any extra Play-Doh. Now let's just wrap this up. Remove more Play-Doh. Awesome! Here's our soda in a cup. Now let's use this white Play-Doh to add details to our cup. Okay, perfect. Now let's use white Play-Doh again to make the same thing for the other end. There we go. Here's our awesome cup filled with cola. Now let's add some details to our soda. Perfect. Now this looks much better. Okay, let's take a closer look at our mini foods one more time. Here's a closer look at our burger. Here's a closer look at our fries. Here's a closer look at our hot dog. And here's a closer look at our soda cup. Hey everyone, welcome back to the AWESMR Pop channel. We love staying active, and one of the best ways to stay active is by playing sports. We decided to make some Play-Doh sports cookies. I know it sounds pretty contradicting since sports and cookies don't really fit together, but these are Play-Doh cookies, so no one's eating them. Okay, right now I cut up a bunch of white Play-Doh pieces, and I'm going to roll them into tiny balls. Got that finished. Now let me just roll this black Play-Doh. We're going to be doing the same thing as before. Chop these into tiny pieces. Now let's roll them up into tiny balls. If you haven't guessed by now, we're going to use these white and black Play-Doh balls to make a soccer ball cookie. So we're going to start by putting this black Play-Doh in the center. Let's surround it with white Play-Doh. Kind of looks like a flower right now. Now let's put the black Play-Doh balls here. And then we'll put the remaining white Play-Doh balls in between the black Play-Doh balls. There we go. Now let's use this slicer to press down on the Play-Doh. Okay, now let's use this cookie cutter. Awesome! We made our soccer ball shape. Looks pretty real, right? Okay, we need to make one more. Pop it out. Alright, now let's make our cookie filling using green Play-Doh. Roll this out. Let's use this circle cutter again. Now let's assemble our cookie. We'll call this mint chocolate frosting. Let's put the other soccer ball cookie on top. Check it out. Here's our mint chocolate chip soccer cookie. Alright, let's make another cookie using this orange Play-Doh. Roll this out. Now let's use this cookie cutter again. Make another cookie. Okay, let's put that aside for now. Now let's roll out some black Play-Doh. Do you know what we're making next? Not many balls that are orange. That's a big hint. Now let's make a bunch of thin lines. By the way, if you guessed basketball, you're correct. Now we'll use these black Play-Doh lines to design our basketball. Start by making a cross. Okay, now let's cut one of these pieces in half. Make a little U shape. Make a frown here. There we go. Before I clean this up, I'm gonna do the same thing on this one. Now let's cut all this extra Play-Doh. There we go. Now we have 2 basketball cookies. This time we'll use white Play-Doh to make the cookie frosting. Roll this out. Okay, now let's use the cookie cutter again. Alright, now let's assemble our cookie. Awesome! Here's our vanilla basketball cookie. Okay, let's make another cookie using this green Play-Doh. Roll this out. Let's bring out the cookie cutter again. Make 2 cookies. Okay, now let's bring out some white Play-Doh and roll it out. Flatten this out a little more. There we go. Now we're going to make some long, thin lines. Do you know what ball we're making next? Here's a hint. This is a very small ball, and you hit it with a racket. While you think about it, I'm going to make this ball design. We need this stamp to make the curve. There we go. If you guessed tennis ball, ding ding ding, you're correct. Now let's remove the extra Play-Doh. Awesome! Here's our green tennis ball. Let me finish up the second one. Alright, here's a closer look at our tennis ball cookies. Now let's use brown Play-Doh to make our cookie filling. Roll it out. Use the cookie cutter again. Now let's make another cookie. Awesome! Here's a closer look at our chocolate tennis ball cookie. Who's ready for another cookie? This time let's roll out some brown Play-Doh. Okay, this time we're going to be making a unique ball shape. I think that's already a big hint. Let's use this cookie cutter. Clean this up a bit. Okay, so I'm pretty sure this shape already gives it away, but if you don't know, we're making football cookies. Now let's roll out some white Play-Doh. Cut out some thin lines again. Okay, now let's use the white Play-Doh to make the football design. Give me a minute. Cut off all this extra Play-Doh. Now let's make little dots right down the middle. Perfect! Now let's use white Play-Doh again to make the laces. Make sure the laces are nicely stitched. Excellent! Now let's use pink Play-Doh to make the filling. Let's roll this out. Alright, we'll need to make a football shape again. Use the cookie cutter. Now let's put the other football cookie on the bottom. Awesome! Here's our strawberry chocolate football cookie. Alright, let's make one more and we'll call it a day. Roll out some white Play-Doh. Do you know which ball we're making? We've got all the major sports so far, just missing one. Let's use the cookie cutter. Here's another hint. This sport is called America's pastime. If you guessed baseball, great job! Now let's use red Play-Doh to make the filling. Roll this out. Okay, now let's make a bunch of thin lines. So we're going to use the red Play-Doh to make the stitches on the baseball. Make curves on the top and bottom of each cookie. Put a smiley face here, and a frown here. Clean this up. Now we have to finish up the stitches using more red Play-Doh. Add some final details. Now let's use blue Play-Doh to make the filling. Roll this out. Make another cookie shape. Okay, now let's make our baseball cookie. Here's a blueberry vanilla baseball cookie. Which cookie was your favorite? Can't decide? Let me show you each cookie one more time. Here's a closer look at our soccer ball cookie. Here's a closer look at our baseball cookie. Here's a closer look at our tennis ball cookie. Here's a closer look at our football cookie. And here's a closer look at our baseball cookie. AWESMR Pop fans! Thank you so much for watching. We can't do this without you. If you're new to the channel and became a fan, click that subscribe button for more awesome stuff. And if you want to be the first person to watch our next video, hit that notification bell to have a chance. See ya!